Okay, in this video, I want to show you how we can use our WebSocket server to transcribe audio. After you clone the repository or you downloaded the project as zip file and also extracted it somewhere, you will see something probably similar to here, some directories and some files here. Maybe um, the structure of the project and also file names look a little bit different, um, but the whole idea is the same, okay? Um, and you do not need to go through every single file. I mean, if you want to extend a script, it makes sense to uh, go through some of the scripts here. But if you want only deploy it or run it, you probably do not need all of the files listed here. One thing that we definitely need is the batch script here. You can open it in the editor of your choice. I opened it here in Visual Studio Code. And as you can see, we have some environment variables that we need later in our WebSocket server. Um, and you have to set them. If you use an Unix-based machine, then you need a shell script similar to this batch script, right? Maybe in the time that you watch this video, we released one, but I'm not sure. If not, then you can easily write your own shell script. It's not hard. You can basically take the whole code here. The last line will be the same, and also most of the code here will be the same, but you need some other commands in order to set your environment variables. And you can really modify this batch script, but also your own shell script um, so that it fits your need, right? I mean, if you need some logging steps, you can add some logging steps. Um, if you want to set the environment variables once globally, then you can do it. But we recommend using environment variables which are restricted to this current session. Okay. Yeah, and in the documentation, you will also find some information regarding running the web server also without a batch script or shell script. I mean, you can run it directly, but if you want to use it locally and if you do not want to deploy it permanently, probably it makes more sense to use a batch script or shell script or batch file or shell script in order uh, to have it easier or to run it easier. Okay. You can also change some configurations here. I mean, you can find some information about that in the documentation too. Um, Also, you can find possible values for this environment variables there. And after that, you changed um, the configuration here, you can save it and close the file, and you can go back to the directory of the project, and you can actually um, double click on the batch script file that you have. And again, if you have a shell script, then you can run that shell script. Okay, it doesn't really matter. If I want to summarize what's happening behind the scene, um, yeah, it's not that hard. First, we set the logger so that we can log then subsequent sections or subsequent steps, actually, in this case. And then after that, we have to parse the configurations or settings that you set in the batch script that you have. And after that, we have to load the model and also warm it up. And then we can instantiate the transcriber and run the server. And yeah, that's it. Um, Maybe one important information here. If you run this script for the first time, it will probably take much more longer. And also, if you take, for example, a larger model, large, medium, or something like that, then it will definitely takes much more longer, right? Depending on, and it also depends on the internet connection that you have and also a machine that you have. I took, for example, here a fast service as a backend and also tiny model, um, and I have a stable internet connection. And also, I ran this script multiple times before, and which is why actually it was so fast because some of the steps are actually catched, right? Do not wonder if it takes for the first time much more longer, right? But because it's completely normal, okay? After that, everything is fine. You will probably see a message here which states that everything is fine and everything is up and running, and then you can go to the browser of your choice. And then one thing that you may saw before I changed to the browser was that you can see also the address, basically the IP address and port that you was used to deploy the web server, and we can actually go to that address, and we have a REST endpoint actually, which is called info, where you can check the information of your web server. Um, it basically cleans everything that you had before in this uh, bash script. It's kind of how should I call it? It's kind of you know a way of pinging your server in order to see if everything's fine and if your configuration was also properly used in a web server. Yes, it's really important to use this endpoint at the beginning so that you can check if everything's fine. Okay, after that you can actually close it and then you can go back um, to the clients directory where you can find a client example. The web client is not the best one, um, but it's it's a minimal example, right? And then after that you can start the recording and then you will see the text or transcription here, but also on the server side, right? Um, I start the recording. So I want to test the WebSocket server and see if everything works or not. Um, it seems actually good. As you can see, everything works. Um, and you can see the transcription both on the client side but also on the server side. Um, Sometimes this takes a little bit longer, sometimes faster. It depends on multiple factors. Right. Okay. And after that, I can stop the recording, and then you can see the connection was closed, and you can start again and again and again. Or if you want to have multiple clients, then you can deploy the server somewhere, or you can, for example, for only for the sake of testing, you can probably expose your local host, and then you can open the same web page on another machine, and then you can test, right? Not that hard. And multiple clients can um, send audio to the WebSocket server, uh, and then the WebSocket will transcribe the whole audio and then returns the result as JSON back, which we will then use here or show here or display here. Okay, so I hope that was kind of fine, and I hope that you can use the script for or within your project as Peter said. Yeah, thank you so